Welcome to our special episode, little bonus content for you guys that we're going to be covering the worldwide movie sensation. Would you call it, I guess? I don't know. Worldwide sensation, cinema explosion blast, known as Barbenheimer. So this is, of course, covering Oppenheimer, the release of Oppenheimer and Barbie. Were they on the same day?
Yeah.
Same exact day.
Mm-hmm.
So what's, out of the gate, what's your take on it?
Well, the name sucks.
What?
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer?
Makes me just annoyed.
You're just angry out of the gate.
I'm just excited that movies are back in a big way.
I feel like this is the first time that we've had like a movie that people were like, man, everyone needs to go see this. You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
No.
Some of the Avengers
Someone
movies.
was telling me that they did this before, and it was for The Dark Knight and
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty good.
I didn't remember that happening because there's no way I saw Mamma Mia.
No.
Is that a good movie?
I love Mamma Mia. Yeah.
Unapologetically. Do you love it, or do you have to love it?
No, I
do you love
genuinely.
it? That's a nick.
I love it, and it's not just because I wear glasses. No, I genuinely love it. It's good. Meryl Streep musical. Grease, what's not to love? Pierce Brosnan's in that movie?
No, I mean, I'll check it out, but I just never had a pathway to get to that movie.
Yeah, I mean, why do you need like a pathway?
I'm just saying, like, it's not like a movie that I would put on, but nobody has ever been like, oh, we should watch this.
Olivia, is she a musical person?
Yeah, but I don't know if she's seen that.
She hasn't seen.
She likes Moulin Rouge a lot. And,
Moulin Rouge is a good...
And Rocky Horror.
Oh, yeah, everyone. Yeah. Rocky Horror is great. Yeah, definitely watch Mamma Mia if you haven't gotten to it.
So this is like a similar event where they release two movies that are
polar opposites
on the same day. Get a huge.
It's funny that The Dark Knight was also Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of funny.
He's kind of running things.
He's kind of doing it. Yeah. Did you like them? Do you want to talk about one and the other?
I was like, no, they both sucked. I'm like, all right,
and
well,
then we just
that's
closed it.
No, I thought both movies were awesome.
I did too.
I actually had to see Oppenheimer twice.
You did?
I didn't have to.
Well, you and I saw Oppenheimer in the 70 millimeter
IMAX,
which is really cool. And that was like, I thought that was incredible.
Oh yeah, and I just can't believe the hype on the 70 millimeter IMAX. So we live in one of, was it 14 or 19? I can't remember. 19
is what I said, is what
theaters,
I've been telling people. So we have to stick with it for continuity reasons.
That many theaters across the United States have this the
70 millimeter,
which is, I think, how long? It's a 600-pound film.
Yeah, they had to like transfer it on truck or transport it on truck or something crazy like that.
It's one reel.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. They gave us, so if you saw Oppenheimer in the 70 millimeter, they gave us like a little, it's like 3 frames from like printed on an actual 70 millimeter film, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it just says like Oppenheimer and then the date. So I thought that was pretty neat. I remember that guy was trying to buy them from us out.
Yeah, they had a stack of like 1,000, and this guy was out there. He's like, I got a couple of bucks. A couple of my friends couldn't come. Could I?
Could I buy one?
Buy one from you guys? I'm like, dude, there's a stack of 1,000.
Yeah,
like,
you could just go up and be like, I forgot to grab one, and I'm sure the guy would be like, yeah, that's fine
for your friends that couldn't make it or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, or just say I would like more than one, please.
But this was like a craze. So my one buddy was like, I think it was 50 days before seeing the movie. He's like, yeah, my buddy and I got tickets, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Was this like a pre-order?
I was like, what the fuck? It's a movie.
Yeah.
So we were kind of.
You asked me if I wanted to get tickets for it, and you were like, oh yeah, it's in a couple months. I was like, couple months?
Well, no, I didn't ask you. I would never have done this, but because we were laughing at my buddy for it. We're like, yeah, dude, that sounds important. And I remember my buddy Jack and I were just laughing at him in the parking lot. We had seen something else, and we're like, yeah, dude, sounds like we need tickets now.
Yeah,
and then like
you did
2 weeks 2 weeks before the movie comes out, our friend Sean is at my desk. Our other friend Sean. There's 2 Seans in this story, and he's at our desk, and he's like, yo, did you hear about the 70 millimeter? And we're like, what? And he's like, it's like sold out. And I'm like, okay.
Everywhere.
So I started scrambling, looking, and so the 2 guys that bought tickets beforehand were just sitting back comfortably, just waiting for their time to see it.
We were scrambling.
And we were just like, we had to see it at 10:45 on a Friday, which was insane.
Which is, I think it was a couple of us went, we all worked together, and our manager, we were like, oh yeah, we'll be back. Everyone's like, where are you going? We're like, we're all going to go get sick and then come back.
But I'm just saying, like, that was the time, and we still had like they were okay seats. They weren't even
they were
like
good.
they weren't like great seats. But like, I don't even know what happened. I think TikTok got to the world, and people that have no idea what Oppenheimer was like. Oh, this is the movie we got to see.
Yeah. So we don't want to spoil anything in this episode because we want people to like still want it. So we still want people to go see it. Definitely. So I was going to put something in the description that's like we're not spoiling anything. So feel free to to
I don't
tune
think you can really spoil anything about either movie.
Yeah, I mean, so do you want to? I'm gonna, like a brief overview of what these movies are about. So Barbie is about Barbie.
Right. So she's Barbie. So it's a kind of a crazy setup. There's a Barbie world and a human world.
Yeah.
And you get this all out of the trailer.
Yeah,
This is no spoiler. Yeah. And so in the Barbie world, all the houses are plastic. They don't have doors. They just go to beach, and there's Kens.
Beach, yeah.
Kens exist there too. So there's Barbies and there's Kens, and it's just comical. Everything's funny.
I will say, joke for joke, this movie was. I was laughing.
It's somehow
out loud.
funnier than Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Just kidding.
That's wild.
But yeah. So, and then at some point she has to go to the real world to basically solve an issue with a human. Yeah. So we find out that the humans, when they play with the Barbies, like they're actually playing with these Barbies, but they exist in this Barbie world.
Like for every Barbie in Barbie world has confusing. Like a corresponding toy Barbie out in the real world. And like I think I just kind of want to leave it at that.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. But anyway, so they have to go to the real world.
Yeah.
And then insanity ensues. It's just like a fun...
There's like music, there's dance sequences. There was a lot of people in this movie that really shot. I didn't think Michael Cera was... I
know. He
lost
crushed.
my mind in some of those scenes that he was in. Will Ferrell was in it, which his character, he plays the same character, but it was very funny.
But
overall,
Kate
I think
McKinnon
that was awesome. Kate McKinnon
as the weird Barbie.
Crushed
oh
it.
My god! Some people don't like her. I think she is hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we were seeing it. There's a lot of people that I feel like for this movie Barbie, you either loved it or people are very angry at it.
People were dumping on it.
I think it's kind of like grow up.
But then there's huge pop icons in there now. Issa Rae and Dua Lipa are in there, and there's like a whole list of who all the different Barbies are.
Yeah, they do. Like, they really pulled out all the stops.
It's crazy. And then on the Ryan Gosling as Ken is
he was unreal in that.
And then John Cena as like the mermaid Ken or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my, or merman Ken.
Merman Ken.
That crushed me.
But I did like the one thing, the non-spoiler, they had like some of the, I don't know if this is a spoiler, it was like some of the other Barbies.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, oh, that one was discontinued. Like shit, we don't talk about that one anymore.
Yeah, like Skipper.
Yeah.
Or that was real. One was real. The one with the arm that goes up and
that would go up and
yeah.
Then the one that killed me, it was the Sugar Daddy one.
Yeah, Sugar's Daddy.
And it was like a Ken that was older who has a puppy named Sugar, and the Barbie was called Sugar's Daddy.
I can't even believe that was real. That is
amazing.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, but
and then there's the one that that has like the baby. It's like a pregnant one.
Yeah,
Olivia said she actually had that one. She's
really?
Like, yeah, it's weird. Like you would take the
like
the tummy off.
The pregnant one's like, hi everyone. They're like, we forgot you were discontinued.
Yeah, she said you would take the belly off and you could like take the baby out. I'm like, that is so weird for a kid.
That is bizarre. How long has Barbie been around though? Like the actual toy?
Oh, I forget.
Because it's been around
50s, right?
Yeah, it's been around for a really long time. But I mean, I don't like. I had sisters. I don't think they were really super into Barbie.
Yeah, 59.
59. But everyone like knows Barbie. You know, it's one of those things where it was like you don't really need to. Which I think this was a lot different from. Like one of the biggest differences with Oppenheimer is like a lot of people didn't know who Oppenheimer was, but like Barbie, what you're getting in for. You know, it's going to be all very, very pink, very like I don't know. It was the soundtrack was really good in Barbie. I thought it fit really well. I don't know.
But I think America Ferrera, she plays a mom in this movie.
Yeah, she was great.
She might be my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
She crushes. Everything I've seen her in, she was in that show Superstore, too.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God.
She's in a bunch of, like, Disney Channel stuff, too.
She is awesome.
When she was younger.
she steals, I'll be honest, she steals the show for me. Like,
she was incredible. Her monologue, again, not without giving too much away, her monologue, where she's talking to all the Barbies, was awesome.
Yeah. No,
she did a great job.
And then Rhea Perlman is the Ruth Handler, the actual... co-founder of Mattel.
Yeah.
And she's great.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was really good in that.
So I will say one thing about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could be 15 minutes shorter. Like
Yeah.
the last, like, I don't know. I was like super in.
Well, without spoilers. Again,
No spoiler.
remember. Yeah.
No spoiler. I'm just saying there's like towards the ending, I was just like, okay, this could end. That was
You just thought it could.
That's my only gripe. I was literally in on the entire movie. Like I was laughing, having a good time. All those weird reviews that we read that were like, "Oh my god, they're making a mockery out of men," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What is like as a male? Like what?
If you
what
can't
support?
if you can't understand why this movie was good, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, what support
is my official stance? Like,
what support does a male need? In the current world, like
exactly.
oh, you can't say that about them. And it's like, what do you mean?
What are you talking about? Watch any other movie before now. Like, it's insane.
Not even to get like social or political about it, but it's just like, what?
Yeah,
but it's done in a way that it's like, and it uses a lot of tropes that the general male does do.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, and it's done in a funny way.
And it's they were killing me when they were like talking about some of the like.
Well, that's what I thought the movie was so cool, because it's like a pro woman movie.
Yeah,
but it's not done in a way that's like, this is what you have to do, and if you're not doing it, you're wrong. It's done in a way that it's like a format that's like, it's like a time you can go out with your family and you could like go home and be like, oh yeah, like we're all on the same board here. Like
you can appreciate the joke, like you can appreciate why it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I think the way that they did it against what you just said, it's like they're acknowledging really kind of funny stereotypes about how like the interactions between, you know, men and women. And I think it's like, if it were, you know, a lot of people got upset and they were like, this is ridiculous. And it's like, if you can't see why this is funny, like maybe you need to look inward and be like, why are you so upset that a movie said something that was funny, not specifically about you?
Right. And
you know, and to me, it's just like,
they hit on that too, because like the stereotypical Ken in the Barbie world is like, he's just there to beach,
to be Ken.
and be Ken, and like that's obviously not right either. But it's almost like a flip on the role. Like think of 1959, like it's a flip on the roles.
Yeah,
and that's like, it's cool that you can acknowledge that and be like, yo, neither of these things is good.
Is the right way to do it. Yeah.
And it kind of does that. So I was
extremes in either end.
To me, it was like a really cool kind of movie like that, where it's like, the one thing I'll say is it was confusing is I thought this was a kid's movie.
No.
And I'm not saying that a kid can't watch it, because kids can watch it, but I'm just saying, like, I was like, I don't think a kid would really like this movie.
I think it was like way too layered.
Like, it's like very bubblegum looking.
Yeah.
But it's like it's obviously PG-13, I think, right?
Yeah.
So it's like written for 13 and above. It's not like Trolls, where like a bunch of kids are in there like, oh my god, like, it's Barbie. Because it is like, oh my god, it's Barbie, but instantly it's like, I don't know, it's not like a kid's movie.
Catered, I think it was written for like, I always say like now we're in the era of like, you know, nostalgia is kind of is really big right now. I think they wrote it with that nostalgic, like, you remember what it was like when you were growing up and played with these things. Like, now let's make it more relatable to people, like to people who are older. And I just thought they did a great job.
And Goss God, I call him the Goss God. He kills it.
He does kill it. His character
was so funny.
His character was. He did a very good job.
I wish I could say certain things, but
I know. I would love to spoil this whole movie right
obviously,
now.
He's the first time you see him, his abs are rippling, his arms are all veiny, and you're like, God.
I was curious. I didn't know how old he was in this movie. I was like, oh, he's probably like in his 30s, right? He's in his 40s in this movie.
He's been around.
And looks good in this movie.
Honestly, minus the crazy blonde hair that they give him, which makes him look
like a maniac.
Like if he didn't have, like, he looks awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I will say, the one thing I'll say is,
Margaret Robbie,
I'm sure they did it on purpose. I think
they
did this on purpose, but they honestly, halfway through the movie, she's kind of like in the background.
Who?
Margot. Like, I just feel like they kind of like, she's like not important.
Yeah. Well, I think I like that. It seems like they set it up as like the whole universe is centered around her, and then it was like, let's talk about like a very real problem.
I thought that was cool because I'm like, all these other characters are more fun to me anyways, and then all of a sudden like she just becomes. I mean, she's still important. Like the whole message still revolves around her being the stereotypical Barbie or whatever, like the blonde.
The casting was perfect for her in that role, though. And how old she was? So they look like her and Ken looked like they were about the same age. She's like in her 30s, right? She's 33. Like 33. Yeah. But I thought they both killed it in this one. I thought the casting was basically perfect for the roles. What about Oppenheimer? So the only reason we talked about Barbie first because it was Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer. Yeah, and
Oppenheimer.
And this movie is a good movie. Is it a normal movie that I would watch, Barbie? No.
Yeah.
But my lady wanted to go, and I was going to go anyways. I was like, well, you got to see this. It's like, whatever. It looks awesome. Whatever.
Social media told me I had to see it.
You know what?
So.
For what it is, it's good. I had a good time with it. So I wouldn't normally watch a movie like this. Even though I
would watch this. I would definitely watch this
We
again,
do like pink movies.
Yeah. That's true.
We did Clueless.
We did an episode of Clueless.
Pretty in Pink, Legally Blonde, Mean Girls.
I
guess Bridesmaids kind of cast as a pinkish movie. It's just like all the color of the movie box is pink or something, or purplish or something. Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
It's not.
Just dump that.
Bridesmaids. I'm just thinking of like a predominantly like female cast. But this isn't. But this is. Well, no, it kind of is. There's a lot of Kens though.
Yeah. That's true. It's 50.
Yeah, Bridesmaids is pink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pink letters. They're all wearing pink dresses, except for the bride. But yeah, come on, dude, get out of here.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's a great movie. I love that.
I will watch.
I remember I saw that on my birthday years ago. Whenever it came out, I saw it. I left work and saw it on my birthday. It was like my birthday present.
I think that is. I think Bridesmaids is on the same tier as like Step Brothers in terms of quotability.
Yeah.
That movie, I will watch Bridesmaids 100% of the time if it's like on.
It's so good.
But yeah, I think like this one I would definitely watch. I would definitely watch Barbie again. I plan to watch Barbie again. Yeah. So what about Oppenheimer?
So Oppenheimer,
very different vibe.
Very different vibe. Yeah. So I think that was probably confusing to people because I don't know if it's like pitched as an action movie or what it's pitched as, but like there's a lot of people in that theater. Like I was just saying, like, and this doesn't mean that they can't see this movie, but like whole rows of like students, like 19-year-old kids with backwards hats on.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not the movie that they think it is.
I think Barbie is like, as a concept, Barbie, you're like, oh yeah, Barbie the doll. But like Oppenheimer, I feel like if you don't have like all of the historical context for like everything that was going on at the time, it's gonna be confusing. I think.
Well, I think people thought it was like a Mission Impossible movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Which also came out and was awesome. But I'm just saying it's not that movie.
This is not.
This is a movie like a biopic.
I think this is closer to like Imitation Game. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
No, it's about Alan Turing.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's very similar. So it's like the guy Oppenheimer, and I feel like this one it's like we definitely can't spoil it because it's a real person. Like Oppenheimer,
biographical.
He was considered the father of the atomic bomb.
Right.
So he led the Manhattan Project during World War II, which was basically an arms race to develop the first nuclear bomb. And that's why he's standing in front of a bomb on the poster.
Right.
Pretty self-explanatory.
But I will say that the way it's marketed, it seems like it's going to be a bomb movie.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, this is all about
like
coming
this summer.
You're going to see people die.
Yeah.
This is going to be a World War II movie that's going to rock your world.
It's very morning radio. No, it is not.
Which is kind of awesome.
I did so this one was Christopher Nolan. He's just like, I watched this one and I was like, he can't make a bad movie.
So before we get into this, then I need to know what you think of Tenet. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen Tenet.
Okay, because that I think will change your mind.
Really?
Because everyone that I've talked to is like, except for our friend Steve told us that to watch this movie. They're like, yeah, it's overly confusing for no reason. It doesn't make sense because all his movies are hits except for this one.
Yeah.
So
I've heard really good things about that one.
So me and Olivia tried watching it the other night, and we just put it on too late. So I watched like the first 40 minutes. I will say it is very confusing.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I've actually seen. She once I started putting it on, she's like, I've actually seen this, and I just really don't like this movie. The acting's not good. So,
wait, is it an older one?
No, this is like 20. This is during COVID. I think it's 2022, maybe 2021,
somewhere around there. Well, if it's during COVID, obviously it is probably around.
I think it was. Yeah. I think it got all jacked up because of COVID. But anyways, that's like the one that 2020.
2020.
Yeah, that's the one. Like I am gonna finish it. I've just heard. It's like he missed it.
Yeah.
But like every other thing he did is insane.
Incredible.
Like, we were just talking Interstellar. We talked Dunkirk. We talked.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked
Dark Knight.
Yeah. And we were talking about The Prestige.
It's just it's so good.
Everything he does is gold.
And I think going into this though, I was trying to see. At the end, I wanted to. I'll talk about what one we thought. Well, basically, out of these two, what one we liked better. But I think I can see this one being like the winning a lot of awards at the next award show.
I
I
agree.
think you said after you saw it, you're like, this is going to win a ton of
Well,
stuff.
see, this to me seems like the stereotypical Oscar winning.
Yeah,
We got 13.
Yeah.
The kind of what.
And that doesn't mean it's better than the other one, than Barbie. I wanted to
Oh, you want Barbie still got a foot in the race, is what you're telling me?
yeah, because I mean, like you said, it's the very like stereotypical like big like big budget, really emotionally moving. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of like another movie that would be in this, like Interstellar. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh yeah.
big, very big names and stuff like that. It's a very stereotypical like this is gonna win a lot of stuff.
Like I could see it being built up there with like Everything Everywhere All at Once from last year.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also though you have to think about the Barbie movie, because I feel like that
The
movie
cast was also
going to
incredible.
do insane. So it's going to be like a fight for.
I hope they both.
It might be a 6-7 split or something.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know what I'm saying. Like I'm acting like I know anything about awards. I don't.
I'll be very clear.
All right, so this movie is about his life, and
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy kills it.
He does.
He is
he does an incredible job.
good in this movie. The pacing could be slow at sometimes because it's about his life. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So the second time through, I will say this: I was like really bummed about having to see this movie twice in a week because it's 3 hours. It's a biopic.
It
Like,
didn't feel like it was 3 hours.
It doesn't feel like
though.
3 hours, but I'm just saying, seeing it twice in 1 week because we already had tickets for our IMAX. My other friend was like, "Yo, we got to go see this," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay." We were already hanging out. I was like, "All right, I'll go see it
Yeah.
twice." I was like, "Oh no!" But I will say, the second time through, I was like, because there's so many things happening.
Yeah.
At once,
Yeah.
so many conversations, so many movers and shakers. The second time through, I could actually pick up on certain dialogue, certain things that are happening. Like, oh, that actually makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought it was actually really cool seeing it, and we saw it in IMAX, which I will say,
was
comparing
crazy. Was it
between
better? I
standard
wanted to
and
ask you
IMAX,
about that.
Oh yeah, the sound is way better.
Yeah.
My buddy Sean was saying that people were complaining about the sound in the 70 millimeter. I thought the sound, obviously, you feel like you're actually in the movie.
Yeah.
On that screen.
Yeah.
Like there's like those shots of like atoms combining and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
I thought that was so cool.
his weird like psychotic breaks in the middle of like
Yeah.
all those things where it's like hits you real hard.
Yeah.
Like that was way more effective.
Yeah.
I said effective. Oh my god. But that was just like way cooler in the IMAX.
On the IMAX screen,
And then obviously there's some action.
Yeah.
That's crazier in the IMAX. And I would just say that the interaction between people, it just felt like, I don't know, it felt more real. Like,
Felt
it
more
just felt
personal,
cool.
maybe?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
just thought it was awesome. But the casting for this is insane. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even like a guy that's like, hey dude,
Yeah.
the freaking supporting actors and
Well,
actresses.
we
but, like,
talked
it's
about who else was in
nuts.
Barbie. Who else was in this one? Just give me like if you have a
so
couple.
Cillian
of them. Yeah.
plays Oppenheimer. Emily Blunt plays his wife Kitty.
Yeah.
Matt Damon plays
I
General Groves.
Yeah.
And Robert Downey. Oh
Incredible.
My God, he plays
Yeah.
Louis Strauss. He kills Florence Pugh. I don't know is that how you say her last name?
Pugh, I
Pugh. I'm sure that's how you say it.
Yeah.
I always read it as Pugh. She plays Jean Tatlock, who's like she's like a communist.
Yeah.
Who's
Without going into spoilers.
Yeah. Josh Hartnett is in it. He plays another physicist. I
Yeah.
honestly didn't know that was him. I was trying to figure out, and I know Josh Hartnett is.
Yeah.
But like I
Yeah.
just remember boy Josh Hartnett, so I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He looks so familiar. And then I was like,
He did look. I was like, yeah, that's him.
they really do him up, and I didn't realize. Somehow didn't realize it was him. Casey Affleck, Rami Malek.
Oh, he had a good.
He was a very short role, but it was so good.
It was good.
That's what some of these roles are like, very small,
Yeah.
but they're so. Effective.
But they were effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Safdie. Safdie plays Teller, who's another physicist. He's actually the father of the hydrogen bomb.
Yeah.
He's in this, but he
was great.
kills.
He was awesome in that.
Yeah. And then there's like honestly, I'm looking at this list, and it's so if I named them off, it would just be like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you know that Gary Oldman played Truman? Though I did not know that until I'm looking at this.
I didn't. No, I had no idea. That is really interesting.
I was looking. I was like, dude, what? How did I not pick up on that?
I think with some of it's really tough.
But they're on a screen so quick, and they're not.
Yeah.
Like, the parts.
Well,
aren't
and it's also like they're in like kind of like a period piece
Yeah.
type movie. So it's like a lot of these ones. It's like they're not wearing normal things that you would normally find. Like the makeup is usually a lot better. Like the effects and stuff. So you're like, I feel like for some of the where in Barbie. You were just like, oh yeah, look, it's so and so. Like they're just wearing like a pink outfit. Like I think that's why it was two very different movies.
Oh yeah. And I will say David Dastmalchian, who I really like from Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy that does a lot of Nolan stuff.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah. I mean, it's a short, but again, effective.
Effective.
That's what it is. All these supporting actors and actresses, they're so short,
Yeah, but effective.
And they're like
in what they do.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think.
But yeah, I think they're both watches. Like,
Yeah,
if you haven't seen
for
them yet,
sure. Yeah, I will say
them.
I don't really know. The one thing that I did really like about this Nolan movie is he used only practical effects, which he's really big. He doesn't really like to use CGI when he very rarely uses it. He's all very practical. Barbie is I would say a lot of CGI, a lot of like special effect type things. So I guess the main point that I want to drive home is that like if you're going into both of these movies, I watched both of them in the same day. I had Keith and I went at like 10, it was like 10:45 for Oppenheimer, and then I saw Barbie at like 7:00 the same night. Don't go back to back because you're going to lose out on a lot of stuff. Whatever movie you watch first, you're going to basically do a hard switch in the opposite direction. And I think you need a little bit of time to appreciate both movies separately. Would just be my word of wisdom if you go to do it. But they were just like, it was so good. I think but like you said, I think there was a lot of people that was like, oh yeah, this whole Barbenheimer thing. Like, we gotta go.
I saw someone wearing a Barbenheimer shirt, so I think they did that. They would go see one and then immediately see the other one right after.
Yeah,
like, that's honestly
the people they would have like half
hours.
pink, half blue, half black shirts.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? But that's like, to me, that's you know me, I'll bullet train movies all the time. But like I've done double features in a theater. We saw what did we see? We saw Clerks 3 and Pearl back to back one time.
Yeah,
because Clerks 3 was only in theaters for like a certain amount of days.
Yeah, I mean, they're very different movies. Like,
yeah, but I was like, I'm not even joking. I was crying at the end of Clerks 3, and then I had to like, soldier up, walk out.
Soldier up. Yeah,
I just got misty eyed. There's something that happens. Yeah. You're just like, oh no.
Yeah,
and then Pearl right away.
Yeah,
which is that movie killed. That was so good.
Yeah,
Mia Goth is like, she's untouchable. But anyways, yeah, both movies are completely different. Do you need to see them in theaters? I don't know. I think they're both cool in theaters, but I think if you waited for streaming,
I think these are going to hold up outside of the theater.
I will say the coolest. I mean, I don't know if it's cool, but the craziest part about all this is I saw Oppenheimer opening night. Well, it opens Thursday, so the opening day is Friday. Whatever. I saw it on that. Dude, I'm not even joking. The parking lot in this parking lot I've never seen full, and I've been going to this theater forever. Yeah. Even when it's busy, like, you can still find spots. I'm not even joking. You had to walk like. I had to go all the way down to like the skydive zone or whatever that thing is.
Oh, yeah.
I was parked all the way over there.
That's crazy.
Like, it was like a good 7-minute walk.
Yeah. I think that I really liked
slammed. And when you went inside, like the concession lines were all the way to the door. You had to like walk sideways through people like a crab just to get around. And then there was a line at the ticket, like after tickets
to like scan
to get in. There's a whole line. It was like Disney World in there. I was like, dude,
it's crazy.
What is happening right now?
I will say it was the same thing with Barbie. I thought like we went to the same theater that we saw Terrifier at. And when we saw Terrifier, there was like 5 people in the parking lot. But this one, we had to park like all the way in the back. And I personally think it's cool because I like when people are excited about movies and stuff like that. I feel like when we were growing up, people used to be more excited about going to the theater. I mean, now I think if it's not a superhero movie, people aren't like flying to the theaters to watch it. So I just thought this was really cool. It reminded me of like, and I'm trying to the big like the last Harry Potter movie came. You know what I mean? Like these big events where people were like, we need to go see this. I think a little bit social media hurt this one because I think there was a lot of people that went to go see these that like had very different expectations of what it was going to be. Maybe.
Yeah, you have your boys, like your lacrosse boys, seeing Oppenheimer, probably like, what the hell did we just watch?
But I thought it was
but they
good.
could also I'm just saying, like, I just remember myself going to see Lincoln when that came out.
Yeah,
and I'm not even joking. There's like 7 of us, just like 20-year-old guys, however we were like, oh yeah, this is. I don't know what we thought Lincoln was going to be.
Yeah,
it's the same deal though, like biopic.
Yeah,
great movie.
Oh yeah,
but getting all like goosed up to go to the theater, like, oh yeah, and then like kind of leaving like 3 hours later, like, okay.
Like,
I feel like that a lot of people might have gotten that from Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
like it's still a great movie, but I feel like I don't know what people thought the movie was.
Yeah,
and same with Barbie. Like, I don't know how you go to Barbie and complain about it.
Yeah,
like like you've seen.
You know what you're getting into. Yeah, like, it shouldn't have been a shock what was going on.
Yeah,
for either movie.
Yeah, but I would say both positively, and they're both like crushing in the box office.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when but I mean, I kind of made it not like a big deal, but I really wanted to see it in the 70 millimeter IMAX format because that's the way he shot it. Like Nolan shot in 70 millimeter. It was kind of the way he intended it to be seen. But I think there was a lot of people that went to the IMAX one because they were just like, oh, I just love IMAX. If I had $1 for every time, like when I was telling people I was going to see it, I was like, oh, but I'm going to see it in the 70 millimeter IMAX. And they were like, what? Who cares? They're like, what is the difference between that? And I was like, oh, it's like, it's just like a nerdy film thing. Like, it's the way he filmed it. It's a little bit bigger, more, it's actual film. It's not digital. And people are like, oh, cool. Like, no one gives a shit.
Well, yeah, and that was the funny thing. So at the theater, I was looking for that opening Friday ticket.
Yeah.
You could get like literally the front row for IMAX like at 11 p.m. and that was it, right?
Yeah.
But if you went to the 6 o'clock like normal showing, there was like 8 seats sold.
Yeah.
And it's like the giant theater. So I was like, okay, so nobody's seeing it. And
Yeah.
eventually it did sell out. Like, the
yeah.
day of, like when we got tickets, we were like in the back row.
Yeah.
Like it was packed. We were in there like a bunch of sardines. I was literally sweating through my seat. I've never been hotter.
Yeah.
My pants were all, I'm not even joking. When I stood up, my pants were wet, not because I peed myself.
Yeah.
Like I was just wet.
My
My back was wet. I was like,
Yeah.
oh. But because there's so many people in this
It was
crowded
packed.
theater. But like before that day, like you could get tickets. But
yeah. Well, I saw a ton of like, even like, I was scrolling on TikTok and stuff like that. People were like, it was a ton of memes about like seeing it in IMAX and stuff like that. Or like, oh man, like I can't wait to, what I'm going to wear to go see Barbie and stuff like that. So that's why I think these like social media definitely like boosted a little bit. I will say it was cool. I mean, like, when you saw Barbie?
oh, everybody's wearing pink.
Everyone was wearing pink. I mean, when I saw it, Emily and I were wearing pink shirts, and I was just like, this is kind of cool. Like, it seemed like everyone for Barbie, I don't think this is really the same as Oppenheimer. Everyone who was there for Barbie, it felt like you were kind of there with everyone else.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
were we going to wear like a pea coat and
and a pipe, a smoking
pipe and a hat?
But no, you know what I mean, though? I feel like for Barbie, I
Yeah.
think it won because it like, in the sense that while you were there, it was almost like going to a concert. Like everyone was there together. Whereas like Oppenheimer, I feel like it was a lot of like, I just want to see this movie. But like Barbie was more of like an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get the photo op outside.
Oh yeah, they had like the little Barbie backdrop and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought they were. But I genuinely, truly enjoyed both of them.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one over the other, what would it be and why?
I would pick Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Like Barbie was fine.
It's because you hate women, right?
See, dude.
No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
So I criticized the last 20 minutes of this movie. I can't explain why, but I did. And to Nick, and I was like,
oh yeah, you
I
texted, and I just like didn't.
He wasn't answering me. I was like, oh, I guess because
yeah.
I didn't like give it 100% that I hate women, huh? And like, that's not true, obviously. But I was just like saying, like, if you have anything bad about this, say this. You probably hate women. But that's also not true. No, my criticism of the movie has nothing to do with women at all.
Yeah.
It's just like I was like, to me, I don't know. It was just like it was delivered in an awesome format. I was like, I'm right there with all the concepts.
Yeah.
I don't need like.
Yeah, I mean the part like
I don't need a dictation of like it's almost like in conclusion. Let me wrap up everything that we just told you. It's like, no, don't do that. You killed it. It's perfect. You don't need to over explain it. It's actually perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
And that to me was like there was like a whole like wrap up thing that happens in every movie that's like made for people that have families that want to go home and like kiss their kid before bed and like, oh yeah, everything's good.
They didn't leave
the alarm is set and everyone's going to bed and everyone's happy. Tomorrow we wake up and have brunch. It's like
they didn't leave anything up for interpretation.
Right, and I would say even before that there was no interpretation. It was
there was nothing for interpretation.
It was like, yo, we all just need to realize on both sides of the coin. Or all sides of the
extremes
coin.
in any direction is shit.
Yeah, just treat everyone better and don't put people in holes because of their, because of their gender, because of their race or anything.
Yeah,
everyone should have a fair shot, and everyone actually has cool ideas. So just hear them.
And again, if you watched Barbie and thought that it was bashing men and didn't get anything else out of it, you are part of the problem. I'm going to officially say.
Yeah, but I think over the course of history, I think men are due for a little bit of bashing.
Yeah, even if it is a pure roast fest, we've earned it.
Jesus Christ. But anyways, I think Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Is just an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I think some people probably are going to say it's a little bit slow, but like it's about someone's life. It's not about the bomb. It's about his life, and it's about a whole bunch more than just the bomb. The bomb is part of the movie, and it's insane and awesome. But I'm glad it's not the main focus because like we don't need to refocus on terrible things that happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that he does that because he could have easily made it another World War II movie where it's
Yeah.
like you see a bunch of crazy, really sad, disturbing stuff, and
Yeah.
you don't. And I think it's really good that he doesn't do that because it makes it his own kind of movie.
It was almost like he didn't need to explain why it was the situation was.
Yeah,
what
he
it
didn't,
was.
and he didn't have to re-exploit wild shit that happened.
Yeah.
He didn't have to show,
Yeah.
the aftermath.
I agree.
I thought it was cool. But that movie, I just think that movie is just like incredible. Barbie, there's nothing wrong with it. I just think that's like I'll probably watch it again, but Oppenheimer is definitely something that I think is
Definitely
like
on the list again.
But I feel like both. So I picked that personally over. It's probably because I hate women. We can't even make that joke because someone's gonna just clip.
Because
that
there's
part.
gonna be some hell yeah brother that's like listening. That's like, these guys.
Dude. I
get
also
it.
take Oppenheimer because pink is not my favorite color, and
Yeah.
dude, fucking women, like whatever. No, but honestly, I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I do also like movies. Like there's this movie, Promising Young Woman. Have you seen that?
No.
I came out a couple years ago. It has nothing to do with this, but it's kind of it kind of has the same vibe where it presents you like this is what guys do and they're shitty. And like it might be over the top, sure, but it's like and it's a caricature of what guys do and they're shitty, but they also do this stuff. That's why we can talk about it. And then there's a strong female lead, and it's a good movie. And I really think that movie is really good at driving home. I'm doing this thing with my hand. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like the drive home thing, but it drives home like what is currently wrong with our situation.
Yeah.
And it does it really well. And Barbie almost does the same thing.
Yeah. There's a way to approach like the realities of society,
like,
and there's a way to like not just dismiss it. You know what I mean?
And like and I always equate it to like if someone has like a dietary thing. They're like, yo, I'm vegan. I don't eat this. It's really cool when they explain to you and like show you like other ways of eating something, but it really sucks when they say, oh yeah, you shouldn't drink milk, and you shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do this. You should do this.
Barbie was really great, which is specifically like there was a lot of like really very funny scenes that called directly like some part, like basically the flaws of modern society in some ways. But then I do think there was a lot of like subtle ways of like, let me show you a different way to think about it instead of like.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Barbie did a great job with.
It's all about that presentation.
So,
like,
yeah,
you're gonna you're gonna be friends with somebody longer, and like you're gonna actually want to be around them if they're just like, if they're not like trying to teach you something every day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If they're just like, oh yeah, like lead by example. Like, oh yeah, this is like how you should
like show perspective, not like don't preach your values, which could be a lot of people need to hear that.
All right, so which one do you pick?
I'm also probably gonna pick Oppenheimer. Again, for obvious reasons, because I hate women. We can't. I gotta. Stop
I know people
joking.
know that's a joke, but
yeah. But also, if you don't think that's a joke, you're also part of the problem.
Yeah. No, we love women. We love all people. We love all of our listeners.
All of our listeners. I forgot to shout out.
I was gonna say
we have one listener in Denmark, dude. Hit us up, man.
Yeah,
we are very
us,
reachable.
like, tell us what.
Email us. What are we watching at gmail.com. Say what's up.
Give us something that we should review. Give us something we should do an episode on.
Give us a foreign movie.
We're just
That'd be
like
cool.
excited that you've listened to
that anyone's listening to.
Well, we're excited that everyone's listening, but
you specifically,
like you're very far from where we are, so that's cool.
That is cool. But anyway, so I'm probably gonna pick Oppenheimer, because these are the types of movies that really got me. I think the what I just said, like the type of film that was used, the practical effects. It's a very like. It's a lot of it leaves a lot open for interpretation. Like this is a movie that, like you said with Barbie, where it was like there was one plot, like you had it, you can talk about it, but at the end they were like, in summation, this is the ending. I think this one you can kind of like with Oppenheimer, which Nolan is really good at with a lot of these movies. It's you kind of keep talking about it a lot. You have different ideas about what certain parts of the movie meant and stuff. And not to say that you can't do that with Barbie, but for me personally, I mean, and I love war movies too. So this is like the exact right setting. A lot of really famous scientists, and like we work in STEM, so like to me that's just cool. I just think there was a lot of small things that like kind of nudged this one over. If we're talking about comedies though, Barbie quickly went very high on my list of favorite comedy movies.
Oh,
though.
I thought you were just saying like
about Oppenheimer.
These two movies, like obviously this one's funnier. I was like, yeah, no, shit.
No. But I was gonna say like in
there
general,
were actually some funny lines in Oppenheimer. There's some good little like quips that you're just like, oh.
Now to take a dig at Oppenheimer, I think so. There was a lot of stuff that kind of like was surrounding the whole like basically like the nudity in that movie. personally, none of that needed to be there.
But I also didn't think it was egregious.
I didn't think
going
it was
into
crazy.
it. I heard,
yeah.
Oh, this is only rated R because there's an extended sexual
Yeah,
scene.
well,
And
that's what I was also going to say. Like, that was
bro,
way overhyped.
I'm honestly not even joking when I say that what they showed in that is almost like what you can see in PG-13 movies now.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
Yeah, I think that was... personally, I just didn't think those scenes really added anything to it. I mean, that was just like... I just thought that was kind of silly.
There's one that I think is... Well... I would say they're effective because there's like two of them.
Yeah,
they're effective. For
the second
reasons.
one
is very effective.
And it's not like I said. I just didn't think. I thought the movie was like. Sometimes I feel like with these big productions, the story alone is good enough. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they do. I just think some of these big movies they add scenes that like aren't super needed in it.
I just think it's. I mean. This doesn't really spoil anything, but he reads Sanskrit, and I was just like, all right, that did it for me. That was cool. But what he reads is like something that kind of comes back in the movie.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, do they need to be naked? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
But I mean,
that was like my one complaint.
No, but when I heard that before the movie, I was like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, it's so long they had to make it R, and I'm like, okay, I don't believe that. Dude. And then it's not. I don't. Think
I've been on TikTok too, man. Like, calm down.
Like it's not out of. It's fine. But I will say the one cool thing about that movie, and I just had read this recently, was it's the first IMAX movie that has black and white.
Really?
Yeah.
I
didn't know
that was cool.
I just figured there's so many IMAX movies at this point that something else had to be black and white. But yeah, he uses black and white and color to kind of tell two different stories at once that intertwine.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And again, not getting into any spoilers.
No,
I would love to spoil all of those scenes because I did think that was really cool. I mean, it's just a lot of people were confused with that kind of stuff. They're like, why is it like switching? I'm like, yeah, it's like bigger themes and stuff like that. It's but I thought it was cool. I mean, did he need to do the black and white? Probably not.
No, but it does work.
It helps frame it a little bit.
Keeps different. It's like a different perspective.
Yeah. But anyway, overall, I would say definitely go and watch both of these.
Yeah.
Like I said, Barbie was some of the jokes I was still like Em and I saw it a couple days ago, and like I'm still saying like thinking about some of the jokes. Like it was so good. The acting was really great in it. Story was really great. Oppenheimer, same things. Acting was really great. Special effects were really great. I think both stand on their own as incredible movies.
Now, are you saying this because you have glasses and I don't, or because
Yes.
I don't have glasses and you do?
Well, that's why I was bringing up the whole black and white thing. Because obviously I would understand it.
Oh yeah,
because I wear glasses and I don't like women. But I'm so sorry.
Jeez.
No, it's all jokes. It's all jokes. And again, if you don't understand that that's a joke, you're part of the problem also.
Yeah.
In summation.
We have fun here?
We have fun here. We do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been on like a bend of Nolan stuff lately, and
Yeah.
it's not like I didn't like him before. Yeah, and we're out of here, but I just he's great.
He is good. He's very good. Like I said, go watch Barbie, watch Oppenheimer. Let us know what you guys thought.
Yeah,
All
have
right.
fun at the movies, guys.
Have fun at the movies. Just
Get
go
some
out there,
popcorn.
support people. Also, to wrap this up, support movies. I wanted to give a shout out to the writer's strike that's currently going on. There's a reason why there's a lot of people that make these movies possible. So, educate yourself a little bit on what's going on with the strike. It's pretty big news in like the movie world. So there's a lot of scripts that are on hold. A lot of these movies were delayed and stuff like that. So, just thought I wanted to give a little special shout out.
Movies are back now, but they also cannot be if we can go right back to
people don't write them.
COVID times where there weren't movies.
Exactly. So I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Let us know what you guys thought. All right. Until next time. Thanks, everyone.